Hi, welcome back to Silkie Inn. In this video, I'm going to show you some of the chicks that were born in Silkie Inn and how they were later adopted to other homes. As Silkie Inn was established, the hens became productive and so chicks were born, and in a matter of time you have to decide whether do you really want to keep all the chicks and continue to keep them growing in this little inn, or you start to look for homes where they can be cared for in a better way. So after some good thoughts, I decided to share them out to other good homes that would be able to give them more love and shower them more attention than I can. And so some of these chicks were just so beautiful, and it's really heartbreaking and it's really painful to decide which chick to be allowed to be adopted away. So in a natural sense, I would choose from those that were closer to me, they will be kept with me, and those that were more running away from me, I would let them be adopted away. That's probably the only way I can choose from, and because like I say, it's all very cute and it's very hard to determine which chicks to be adopted and which chick to be kept with me. So the way I do the selection is more of to select from those that are very closely needed to me, like the white little EE, and she's just so clingy to me, and so I will never let her go. While the rest, it's an option. So as long as there are people who like them, I will let them be adopted. So they had some fun time together, good time with their parents, with the mummy, and also to learn from the mummy what to do, how to eat, how to look for food, what to do with the water, how to drink the water. And so they learned a lot from the mummy, and teach them and protected them for a little while. I would usually wait until I noticed that the chicks are quite independent by itself and know what to do before I start to let them out to another family. Well, the reason is because in the first 3 days especially, the chicks are still not aware what to do, how to eat and how to drink. Yes, they don't really know this basic. So the mother hen must teach them what to do. So if you were to let it out to another family who doesn't know what to do, how to teach the chicks to eat and drink, many of these chicks will be starved to death. So that's the danger. This may sound very basic and very simple, but this is very critical for the life of these chicks. So I would always encourage all breeders that you should always check whether those who are adopting your chicks, are they aware? Do they know how to feed, how to teach the chicks and how to feed them? If they are inexperienced, it is better that you trust that they do not know what to do. And for that matter, it is best that you make sure your chicks learn this basic skill of eating and drinking first. Because I've heard and I've seen cases whereby chicks died after 5 days. They were kept in a cage with food and water, but because the poor little chicks doesn't know what to do with the food and the water in front of them, they just simply stare at it. And after 5 days out from the incubator or from the mummy hens and being adopted away, they were actually at a total loss. So they were chirping throughout the day until they run out of voice, until they are out of water, and until they are very hungry. So typically 5 days from the day of their birth, if they are not taught to eat and not taught to drink, they will be totally famished and they will be dehydrated and they will die. So 5 days is the typical time frame. So I would say I would typically want to make sure the chicks survive more than 15 days with me. that by the time they already know the basic skill of eating and drinking water, and that only that will I then start to allow them to look for adoption, where another family will come and adopt them. And of course, the interview has to begin. I'll always make sure I ask those who are going to adopt them whether do they know how to take care of chicks, or whether have they have any experience. And even if they claim that they know what to do, they exactly know what to do, I will always ask them the questions. And if I can sense that they do not know what to do, I will not let them go. Let me give you one more example. Right after they will hatch, you need to keep the chicks in warm condition for at least about 30 days to 40 days. They need to sit under light bulb 24 hours by 7 for the next 30 to 40 days minimum. This is to give their body warmth and have constant warmth to their body. Because remember, in the incubator, they are having a temperature of about 37.7 to 37.8 or 9 degrees, and so it is pretty warm condition. But once they're out in the air, especially in Singapore condition, we are looking at about 26.8 to even 32.2 or even 34 degrees Celsius, which is quite cooling to these chicks in comparison. So it's never a good idea for them to just go on their own without a lamp. So we thought that Singapore is a very warm country, so we typically would not bother to give light to these chicks. But these chicks really need the light. They need to be under the light for 24 hours by 7 for the next 30 to 40 days until they are able to have their own body warmth and their feathers are fully grown. Then you can let them stay in the open air on their own. Now this is very important. You see, a lot of people like to take care of chicks, and they thought it's very straightforward and very easy. So they would just get these chicks back, and without knowing what to do, they would just put them some food and some drinks and expect them to be able to live on their own. But these chicks are chilling inside. If they have just come out from the incubator, or they have been just hatched from the mother's hen, you know, I've heard of cases whereby chicks are just born about only 3 days and they were left alone, and so after a few days they died, and that was a very sad experience for these chicks. Imagine they died because they were too cold and they could not feed back to anybody. They would just keep on chirping to the point of death, which is very sad. So I would make sure that if they were to adopt my chick, they must know what to do. So the interview is to test their knowledge. I would ask them what should they do, and whether are they aware of certain conditions that they need to know for the chicks. And if I can see that they are not familiar, I will teach them, I will explain to them. But if they refuse to abide by it, I would rather not let them have it, because it means life and death to these poor little chicks. So I would want the best for them. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something. See you in the next video.